The incidence of early childhood trauma has been increasingly over the past several years and has really impacted classrooms across the country. And the level of trauma that we're seeing in young children and their families and having to face in the classroom has been really daunting and a great puzzle for all in the school community. And now we find ourselves in the summer of 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, a public health crisis of COVID-19, where there's actually threat to our health, to our own physical bodily health, both for us as teachers and administrators, and also for the children and families. And at a time also where racial violence, racism, and structural injustice has pressed forward in a way that is calling and needing a great positive response for change. And these pressures and the stress of all coming together at one time will now walk into the classroom in the 2020 new school year. In the new school year in September. Actually, and all these significant pressures, overwhelming each unto themselves, but now all together we're facing those as we look to restart classrooms across the country. And students, of course, will bring these experiences and they will share their traumatic experiences with you in the classroom. And you will see that in their behavior as they communicate their great need for support and comfort. And that trauma will certainly disrupt classrooms. And it has the potential to disrupt the student-teacher relationship. And it's why, in thinking about how do we prepare the classrooms, how do we support teachers, school communities to welcome in this level of trauma, and to do it in a way that is supportive of everyone involved. And that's about what we talk about, a framework of weaving team care into your daily school experiences. And team care is a way of conceptualizing kind of how best to support teachers' social and emotional wellness and to strengthen resilience in helping children overcome their adverse experiences that they will carry to the classroom. Team care acts as a help to team members to rebound from exposure to traumatic expression in the classroom and build a community of support for sustaining teachers in their career and their longevity. And team care can be adopted as a layered approach, kind of with key nurturing relationships at each domain. So you can think of your immediate classroom, the teaching teams, kind of the whole school context. Each layer can be planned for and designed to provide supportive, nurturing relationships. Creating time for reflection is really key, reflecting on how you're feeling about being in the classroom, how the feelings in the classroom from the children are impacting you and how you're impacting the children. So that time for reflecting about these things and thinking about them and planning around them is really a key component. That's just essential. Celebrations, something that teachers do really important at these times with this level of stress, is building a time for celebrations, for peer recognition, doing that through newsletters, being able to highlight specific school team members' unique qualities and gifts, having lunch together, and including every person in the school building and community in these ways of being together that support the building of trusting relationships and the celebrations of those relationships. Team care is a way to lean into teachers' role as helpers. That teachers are just are built to help, and so team care also orients one not just to take care of oneself, but to actively use one's gifts and talents to help others around you. So it won't come as a surprise. It will not come as a surprise that teaching is seen as a top profession. It is one of the most respected professions. And that desire to help and educate and help grow a generation so that they will rise to new heights and they are our future. So that's such a part of the profession, such a part of the legacy of teaching. And yet trauma really challenges that. And trauma challenges us in ways that this can disrupt the classroom, disrupt your relationship with that child, and ability to sustain and stay with that child through such difficult experiences. And so we think of then team care as a way to counter that, as a way to help maintain your success as a teacher through even the most difficult situations like we're facing now here in the new school year of 2020. Team care extends the range of self-care activities, so to include an intentional orientation to building a network of predictable, consistent relational experiences with your teacher peers, the school community, your family, and friends. Team care recognizes that the entire system supporting children with trauma needs relational support. It aims to organize that relational support and opportunities for reflection and give space and time to name the trauma that you're facing in the classroom, how it's affecting you and your colleagues within the school community. And then to find relief and support in the creativity of small groups, one-on-one relationship development, and then whole large group activities. The challenge that team cares that helps overcome the aspect of trauma that is so powerful, that trauma leaves one feeling helpless and hopeless. Again, trauma presents such unique and forceful challenges for us as teachers. Even the best teachers can be left skillless, feeling hopeless and helpless in the face of a child or one of their students who's been overcome with trauma, and that's getting expressed in different behaviors in the classroom. And so team care is a really intentional way to help overcome that. And team care is actively countering the sense of isolation that trauma tends to bring. So that together in staying connected in relationships helps one stay fresh in the face of this really the stress that trauma brings. Team care also will look different. It'll reflect the diversity of the team, the interests, individual interests of the group. And that's when team care is at its best. It's designed by you and within your network. Now, one vulnerability to persevering with team care is kind of, you take an example of self-care. We all think of self-care plans or exercise and these things that we commit to, that when life gets busy and overwhelming, then sometimes we're not able to continue and see it through. And certainly accessing a team care and model is similar. It really takes a dedicated focus, and that's why in group it's really important to keep that alive. So when certain members of the group are really struggling, the group can kind of hold and care for them and keep them supported. And it's different team members at different times. Um, so, that's a really important aspect of the team care. What we've heard through the years with our team and with teams across the country is thinking about team care really helps overcome the burnout and the just compassion fatigue that just exists in doing close relational work, which of course is the basis of teaching and helping kids learn and grow under all range of circumstances, especially when trauma is present, is really creating that reliable support team for yourself. And knowing that by doing that, that ultimately you're building your best self for effectiveness and long-term effectiveness in the field and the profession, and that will then overcome trauma for your classroom and for the kids who come to your classroom as you engage and build out the network for that child with their family, with the administration. Maybe there's clinicians involved, counselors, so you build out the whole team and make sure you all stay together in communication and supporting each other to overcome the traumatic experience. So I would just encourage you to lean on those special networks you have and then build them out more for you and for those around you, especially as we face unprecedented levels of stress in the new school year.